Hey there, Uni-Warriors, I'm Goblin here, once again bringing you the latest in Uni-War action. Alright, so as I promised, I've been trying to bring more videos to the channel, trying to add some new content. I've been asking you guys on the forums what you wanted to see, and one of the big responses I got back was to do more of these tactical round videos. I was actually really happy to hear that. I love doing these things, they're a lot of fun. One thing I thought I would try today is talking a little bit more about a specific topic. It's something that I see a lot of players struggle with, particularly around like 1800, between 1800 and 2000. I see a lot of players who don't really know how to use this unit very effectively, and that unit is the Borfly. And I specifically, when should I build this Borfly, and how should I position him to maximize his utility? And I have found this terrific game between Azorius and Goxx. This is from the what is it? The Championship 2016 December tournament. I believe this was like game 8, round 8, round 9, somewhere around there. Azorius and Goxx, two outstanding players. Azorius is already, I remember he took first place in the Crawl v Crawl 2016. Goxx has also come up in the quarterfinals. Azorius in the 2nd of December. I think he made it to the semis of this particular tournament. So these guys know what they're doing, and this is just a great case study of how to use the Borfly to your advantage. So first and foremost, before the Borfly even comes out, you got to look at the position you're in. You have to decide, when should I bring out the Borfly? Borfly timing is very important. Also, as a general rule, not a constant rule, but I typically find that on smaller to mid-level maps, Borflys just tend to be a little bit more impactful. Artillery units in general tend to follow that trend. So consider the map very effectively. You also see a lot of lava tiles around here, so mobility is very hampered on this map. This is a tree and lava heavy map, so speeders, while they still pack a punch, I'd say that other units just can't get around, and so the Borfly has a lot of empty space that he can kind of maneuver around, where all of these mountains and trees and lava along this line in the center makes it very hard to get to a Borfly positioned on like this back line area here. So if you also look at the other position that you're in, so Azorius ahead by 200 at the start of Goxx's turn, so Goxx already a bit on the downhill playing as the Titan player. He has this 1 health mecha on the healing tile. He's going to have to waste a turn healing that guy back to life. He does have a couple of like half-life and 3/4 life mechas at 8 health and 6 health. And then he has this 1 speeder on the side here. So more importantly, Azorius has this very nice setup defensive wall of underlings, particularly these 2 health, these 2 full 10 health underlings are very powerful. Well, I wouldn't say powerful, but they make a very good defensive wall for these swarmers to hide behind. And if a Borfly comes out, it's going to be really tricky to get to him. First, you got to get through the underlings, and then you got to get through the terrain. That's a lot of movement points and turns that you have to wait before you can really get to the vulnerable part of the map in these, particularly these 2 back squares here. So if you look at what happens, you have Goxx is gonna go. He does eliminate a couple of these underlings, then goes for a second underling elimination, and now he's able to even up the score, as you can see, but at the cost of having the 6 health mecha stand on the lava. He's got this one, the mecha that is on the mountain is now at half-life. The most effective mecha he has is here in the back, where it really wants to be more on maybe this mountain tile or this forest tile, where you can afford to be a little bit more aggressive, and then you have a mecha here that can heal. So Azorius sees that even though the score is tied, he's got the full health swarmer. This swarmer is still going to survive for the turn to be able to swat away to the health tile, a full health underling, and now is his chance to maybe push ahead and press his advantage, and an artillery Borfly is exactly the tool he decides to go with. You do see another speeder and mecha coming out here, so now's Azorius' turn, a chance to press his advantage. You see that underling and those swarmers kind of push away that free mecha shot. So he's eliminated 1 mecha, got another mecha to a 1 health. So even with this extra speeder in the back, the front line is weakened. Alright, so look where he brings the Borfly in. There it is, right here on this spot. This is truly the best spot for the Borfly to come out. If you bring him out on this base, he's vulnerable to mecha attacks and the speeder attack. He's not going to be very long. If he comes up onto this base, he's vulnerable to this speeder attack. But if he comes out onto this base, there's nothing that can come and reach him at that spot. And then even more importantly, what makes it such a great position is that this Borfly comes out and immediately has a free shot on any unit that pops out on this base. So immediately, he puts Goxx in the position where you're going to have to pay a penalty every time you bring a unit out to this position. And now this speeder's going to have a penalty for attacking on either of these lava squares, because if he does attack on the lava square, he's only going to be able to come a maximum to any... He's only going to be able to come back to one of these lines, and he'll have to sit here on the forest where he gets a negative to his defense, and if he comes on any of these lava, the base, or this forest tile, the Borfly is going to get a really nice 5-shot against him. So it kind of really reduces Goxx's options. He doesn't really have any plays that he can make in the center without paying huge penalties to this Borfly that can get free shots. You see the game progress, and now Goxx is going to have to reconsolidate everybody. Look at this. He will bring out the ones... he does bring out the one speeder to get a nice shot, to get a, what was it, like a 5-shot, a 6-shot? Yeah, 6-shot against that underling, and he does go out for the combo, but for the most part, he has to reconsolidate a lot of mechas that would have probably been better off staying on these squares. Now they got to be pushed back to this line. This base is mollified, and the only units that can really push up, he's got to keep the speeder at bay. He goes in for the attack with the underling, and then has to keep it back to this position, shoot away by the Borfly. And if the Borfly decides to push up to one of these spots, now the speeder's going to have to come down to here, and that's exactly what happens. So down goes that one underling, and then you see the Borfly pushes up his position, and then a second Borfly, and now this Borfly can come out into the middle. And you might be thinking, like, that's kind of dangerous. The Mantis is on the board. I got these 2 speeders here. It's kind of risky, but the idea is if I can force Goxx to be in a position where he has to move up into the center and attack with his Mantis and speeders, even if you come and do get like a 5 or 6 shot or even a kill on this Borfly, that's 200 credits for me to get a free shot against your Speeda or your Mantis, which is 250 credits. And when I'm already at a 600 over 500, 100 credit advantage, a 50 credit bonus for an exchange is going to look really good to Azorius. So what I'm saying is if the speeder comes up to attack at this position and hit the Borfly, it's only going to come back here. This Borfly is going to hit the speeder at that spot, and suddenly that speeder will go down to this underling, and the speeder will be eliminated, and then you have an uneven exchange in the advantage of Azorius, and that's the power of keeping a back line here. Not to mention, if he decides to not go for the Borflies, let's say that Goxx decides to pull back some of these units, now the Borflies have even more territory control on this back line, and both the bases are on free range. He could attack either one of these bases for free with both those Borflies if they're not dealt with. So he forces the hands of Goxx to move closer into the center. That's exactly what he starts doing. He's going to have to first push away that one underling on the base. And now he's got to use so many units that one underling did a great job as a distraction. And he does go for the Mantis against the Borfly. Does get the 7-shot and with the Swarmer kill. And Goxx pulls in the advantage, but now his units are going to be a little bit exposed. So then, if we can just watch the response from Azorius here. I thought this was a great move. So now Azorius shoos away that Swarmer, gets a nice first mecha kill, takes that 3-shot against that speeder right here on the back, then with the Swarmer and the Borfly here, gets a really nice combo against this other speeder. Mantis. Down goes the Mantis, and suddenly Azorius, just like that, pulls right back ahead in the lead, and he's got the extra Swarmers in the back to continue his assault. He's keeping this Borfly at such a good spot, just starting it back right behind this underling wall. And that's the one thing you really, if you're really having trouble understanding how to use the Borfly correctly, or artillery in general, I think the same principle will go with Guardians, although Guardians, their movement has a couple of different variables relying around it. And also, if you're having difficulty knowing when to push your blaster forward, keep this general rule of thumb. These guys work so much better behind walls. You see this nice little 3-pronged wall that these Borflies can dart behind. Look how none of the Mantises look how the Mantis is the only unit that can really reach back there. This speeder can't get there, this speeder can't get there, these mechas can't get there, and the only way to attack the Borfly is for the Mantis to push up and make itself vulnerable. And once again, even if he gets the shot against the Borfly, it's not going to be for free. It's going to be at a cost of 3 health to this Mantis, and it's going to leave it in a position where this underling, or this underling will tear it to shreds, and before you know it, you're trading to maybe get 4 points off of a Borfly. You're paying a whole 250 credits to lose your Mantis to do it. So it's such a great gridlock of the Borfly. And then the last move I wanted to look at in this game was here on round 10. Now the Borfly has been darted back to the health tile. This is Goxx's last stand. He's going to try and make his last push. And you gotta be careful with Titans on maps like even on maps like this where the advantage is clearly Crawlian. You gotta be careful that you don't let them catch their breath. You do not want to let the Titan player even out the score in the 10th round like this. You want to make sure you're holding on to that forward credit line, and that's exactly what Azorius is doing. He's holding on to his advantage by letting these Borflies do the work. And now the underlings can come out with the Swarmers and start to really go to work on these mechas. And look at all these free shots he's going to get on this mecha. That's more free damage against the mecha with the Swarmers. The Swarmers and the Borflies make great combinations. The Borflies take care of the heavy artillery, and the Swarmers are used to mop up the light infantry. And that's a really, really powerful combo. So that would be my takeaway. So just a couple of key points here. Make sure you're generating a well-effective wall for the Borflies to hide behind. The Borflies are slightly more impactful, I'd say, on mid to small level maps. That goes for artillery in general. That's not always the case. They certainly have their place on larger maps, but I feel that they have a bigger impact on the smaller maps just by virtue of their range being able to reach to more positions within the immediate area. And then the last thing I'd have to say is they work really well in a map like this with Swarmers. Swarmers and Borflies work really well. Sometimes you can mix them up with Garudas, or even on a map where you're getting higher credit rates, you can even bring in Pinzers and Borflies. They make a very deadly combo. If you use them very well and you keep them protected and you just use them to get free damage all day, particularly against these speeders. They're so good against speeders. They have been nerfed, the Borfly, so they're no longer as effective on light infantry. I think they were all reduced by like 25% on their armor piercing, but even so, particularly for the cost you're getting, the free damage the Borfly brings to the table is so immense. You just really got to consider what is his range and why am I having him sit? Where is he protected and where can he get free shots from that protection zone? All right? So that's all I have to say about Borflies today. If you have any questions or comments or ideas or thoughts for games on this series, let me know in the comment section below. As always, if you enjoyed the video, guys, please hit that like and subscribe button. It always helps out my little channel. And until then, I'll see you guys next time.